How we doing, boys and girls? Good evening. So not used to saying good evening. You made it. Hey, I told you I'd give it a go. Mrs. Manthius is looking after the puppy this evening. I've got the other two. They've been out on walks. They've been fed and everything, so they should be fine. I've been fed. I was real cheeky. I ordered pizza. I couldn't be bothered to cook anything. Could not be bothered to cook anything. But hopefully we can get comfy and we can watch the stream today. Now, the question is where the flipping hell are they doing it? There's the big question. Flipping hell, everybody's just gone live by the looks of things. Going to be competition this evening.
Is that your wallet?
Oh, Mr. Norton with the gifties. My man, thank you very much. Good evening to you. Appreciate those. Thank you. It's I think.
Your wallet? Are you just glad to see me?
I think.
Both, I hope.
It's gonna be on. Oh, I will keep that there. Let me find the.
Is that your wallet? Are you just glad to see me?
Where's it gone?
Both, I hope.
Where's it gone? This one. That's the puppy dog, isn't it? Starts in 33 minutes. Yeah, look, I told you this wasn't live. Look, premieres in 33 minutes. I told you this wasn't live. Deep dive, directly followed by a dev Q&A stream. I'm going to roll straight into the stream thereafter. I wonder if it's going to be easier to watch this on Twitch or on YouTube. I'm not sure. Either way, let's maybe just go yoink. Out of the way. Should we open up the World of Warcraft Twitch channel as well? In case it ends up being easier to watch it from there. What is the official World of Warcraft Twitch channel? That's a really good question, isn't it? What's the official World of Warcraft channel? Twitch.tv/World of Warcraft? What's it going to be on? Is it in the links down here? Surely they've cross-promoted to their Twitch as well. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. No, apparently not. Did you see the Xbox Game Pass changes? Don't know how I feel about that. No, I haven't. No. What's this? I have Game Pass. I use Game Pass. What's Microsoft doing this time? Sack off this chat business. Nobody wants YouTube chat. Here are the changes. Is there not like an article or something? Hang on. Hang on. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Okay. I found the Twitch channel as well. People doing test. Right, let's. So it is just twitch.tv/Warcraft. Right, there we go. So we got the two options here. Cool. Beautiful stuff. Love that. We can leave that ready to rock and roll. What's this? Oh God, already. Oh, it's an official Xbox one. There's a very strong chance if I watch this. In fact, the entire stream's gonna get flipping copyrighted today. It always does. So let's not worry about that. Let's get the audio set up. Sorry, I'm being part of Team Slow today, trying to figure shit out. Hang on. This work yet? No, my flipping view account thing doesn't work as well. And while that don't work all of a sudden. Chrome audio settings, Liz. What's this?
Hey everyone, Xbox Game Pass is getting an upgrade. We've listened to your feedback, and now you have even more freedom to choose how you play the games you want. Here's a look at what's new and what's changing.
Is World of Warcraft
First
on the
off,
list?
you might have noticed some changes to the plan names. Xbox Game Pass Core is now Xbox Game Pass Essential. Xbox Game Pass Standard is now Xbox Game Pass Premium. And Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is still Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. We explored other names, but they didn't work out. Of course, a lot more is changing than just the names.
No Pro Max?
We've expanded all Xbox Game Pass plans to give you more games and more ways to play and more rewards than ever. Let's look at the upgrades to the plans one by one. First up, Essential, formerly known as Core. This plan is expanding to give you more ways to play, including PC and cloud gaming. Previously, Core was primarily for console, but Essential now lets you play games on Xbox console, PC, and cloud. That means you have the freedom to stream and play on any supported device. And with cloud gaming, that includes a lot of devices.
Oh, that's
We're also expanding the game library so you get access to over 50 games. And of course, you still get online multiplayer, so you can keep playing with your squad. Another upgrade is that Essential now includes in-game benefits for some of the biggest games, like League of Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, and Overwatch 2. And with Essential, you can earn up to 25,000 rewards points a year just by playing the games you love. You can redeem your points for Xbox gift cards to get new games, add-ons, and more. So if you've got your eye on some DLC, you can spend points to bring home the bundle.
Which version do I have?
Next up, Premium, formerly known as Standard. While Standard was built with console players in mind, Premium was built with everyone in mind. So we're giving you more ways to play with this.
What version do I have? What version of this do we have? How do I even know what version of this I've got? I've got the PC games version, whatever the Christ that is. Flipping no.
This one too,
What's
with
the
games on
TLDR to
Xbox
this?
console, PC, and cloud. You heard that right. PC and cloud are coming to Premium. With Premium, you get access to over 200 games. And when a new game is published by Xbox, it'll be added to the Premium library within 1 year of launch. Premium also now offers the same in-game benefits for some of the biggest games. So you can instantly unlock characters, cosmetics, and more. Looking good. With Premium, you can play and earn up to 50,000 rewards points a year. Plus, you get access to exclusive quests, and you get twice the points when you buy games and add-ons, so you'll have even more ways to earn rewards. Finally, let's take a look at Ultimate.
Or do I just have
The
Ultimate?
best thing about Ultimate is that you can play new games on day one. That includes games like Call of Duty Black Ops 7, The Outer Worlds 2, and High on Life 2. But now, the best is getting even better. Ultimate subscribers will get access to over 75 day one games a year. We're also adding 2 new partner subscriptions. With Ultimate, you'll now have access to Ubisoft Plus Classics in addition to EA Play. And Fortnite Crew will be added in November. In total, Ultimate gives you access to over 400 games playable on Xbox console, PC, and cloud. And when you stream games with cloud gaming, Ultimate gives you our best quality with the shortest wait times. To round out the package, you get the same in-game benefits you're used to.
Okay, sure, whatever. How in the world do I have any idea what flipping version of Xbox Game Pass I actually have then? How do we even know? Well, it has given me a cloud gaming option here. Hang on, let me do this off screen in case it decides to randomly load something that you lot shouldn't see. Because, you know, that's how shit works. Subscriptions, PC Game Pass. Oh, I have a version that was completely not any of the ones they listed in that video. Sure. What's the difference between PC Game Pass? Okay. PC Game Pass, play on PC. Xbox Pass Ultimate, play on PC, cloud, and console. Well, there's a reason why I didn't bother with that, because I don't have an Xbox console. I also have no idea how much I pay for this. What? $27 a month? $27 a month? Fuck off. That's the reason I'm not buying an Xbox. $27 a month. Get bent. Alright, cool. Right, should we keep ourselves busy? Should we keep ourselves entertained until this goes live in, what's it going to be? Oh, 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Got the go-ahead from the missus. Hope you grovelled appropriately. Yeah, she's just looking after the puppy. I've got the other 2 dogs in here. So hopefully they'll be fine. They've been fed and we've been for a quick walk, so they should be alright. They should be okay. Get some food before the start. Wise move. I cheated. I ordered pizza. I cheated. Drops are on in a little bit as well. I don't know exactly what time they're going to kick off. Probably on the hour, I would guess. So probably in about half an hour. That reminds me, I should probably adjust the drops. The what do you call it? The command thing. Cloudbot commands. Do I not even use the drops one? I must do. Go. What's the name of this? What's the name of this pet called? Lil Coley, the baby pit lord. Lil Coley, the baby pit lord. Right, let's see if this works. See if this works.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
Does this work?
Both, I hope.
Boom. Yo, Mr. K-Jack, welcome in. Good evening. The 11 months. Thank you very much. You good? You home? Are you watching? You not streaming? I thought you'd have been streaming this evening. Just checked the list. You're on it, man. The alpha's yours. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for checking. Appreciate it. Keep me off all lists, please. Towley's doing a sponsored stream. Wow, he's timed that cleverly, hasn't he? Flipping hell. Towley has timed that to perfection. Absolutely timed that to perfection. Coming on live in a minute. What do you mean you're going live in a minute? Lies. Lies, Mr. K-Chak. Lies. Lies. You're already live. You've already been live for 10 hours. Right. Lies and deceptions. Already live. Right. Can we squeeze in? What do we think? Can we? Whoa, what's with all the... There we go. Do you think we can squeeze in a quick delve before it all kicks off, do we reckon? Give me a random delve. What are we expecting to see from this, boys and girls? I have a sneaky feeling something else is happening alongside this. I don't necessarily know what it is though. I'm not in those circles. Not in those circles, but I have a suspicion that we have the QnA, or sorry, the deep dive, which is a video, clearly, because it's saying premieres on YouTube. Whoa, what is this? I don't know. Profession changes I care about the most. Well, I think most of us do. Most of us do. I wonder if they... Like, I tell you what, after that little clip of Ian the other day... In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to watch that again, because it's relevant. We're going to watch that again, because it's relevant. That little clip from Preach's interview the other day. That little clip's really got my brain ticking as to what we might get to see. Where was it? Like 23 minutes or something? You like haven't listened to this. We looked at this the other day on stream, but it's relevant to what's going on now. Tick 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 tick. Pause that for a minute. There's this was the only scrap of information from all of the published midnight early look stuff said anything about professions. What's this? What's this? It looks like you need Ultimate now to be able to play on launch day, which also went up 50% in price. I wonder where they go for that feedback. But there's also a hidden PC only plan. Maybe if you're on the PC only plan, you're kind of grandfathered into it because of reasons, which means I might not ever change the one that I'm on. I think it's $10 a month. I pay $9.99 a month. It's PC only, I think. Maybe that won't be available for like new subs or whatever.
She's beaten everywhere else in Azeroth and the Sunwell's the last place standing, is because that's the way I got.
Basically, that is the opening scenario. That is the opening quest line that will kick off midnight. Right, so just as the Legion
says something about Valor Stones, and then Ian goes on a little TED talk about
that initial defense of Kel'Thuzad that will then set up the rest of midnight.
You're going to walk out of that light, just like all those other people are, enjoying the fight.
I thought it was Astartes. I thought we were going full Warhammer when the Army of the Light turned up. I thought, oh no, the Space Marines are here. We're in big trouble. In general, though, is there anything else that you want to change in midnight we haven't talked about? I've got a whole bunch of stuff about add-ons, but you kind of addressed a little bit there. Things like Valor Stones and crafting. As somebody who's now playing a bit more
Valor
casually,
Stones and crafting.
I did want to touch on that a little bit. It's like it's very convoluted.
It is.
Valor Stones need to be shot, Ian.
There
was like three times in this interview, Preach deliberately said something that he knew that would get Ian in trouble if he answered. This is why I do like it, and this is why I do believe that they're not like totally scripted interviews.
We haven't committed to any specific changes yet, but the concerns and feedback on Valor Stones are not lost on us.
Yeah.
The team as a whole is taking a close, hard look at really what they continue to add in the current system. And I think crafting as well, I think there's room for more of a middle ground there. We are looking to simplify a few professions.
Looking to simplify a few professions?
Moving into midnight, I think, there is... One of the goals of the crafting overhaul when we did it was to give people who really wanted to make crafting a core part of their character's identity a ton of depth. Be able to say, like, you know what, like, I'm a serious blacksmith and I'm going to make a fortune in gold. I'm going to be someone that...
No. He did misspeak there. When he said, I'm a blacksmith and I'm going to make a fortune in gold, what he actually meant to say is, I'm a blacksmith and I'm going to have to spend a fortune in gold to do these patron orders. Slight slip of the tongue there.
That people seek out and send work orders to.
Well, they created cartels, which is a wonderful part of MMOs, honestly.
And that was actively part of the goal, as opposed to like 10 years ago, crafting was like, everyone can make everything. It's just a button that you click and that's the end of it. But that level of complexity may be warranted in making a sword or a...
There we go. That level of complexity warranted in making a sword
that you're going to use for the next 5 months. It's probably not warranted in
making a potion. So, where do we think the simplifications are going to come from that then? That sounds very much like alchemy, enchanting, jewel crafting. Well, pretty much anything that makes a consumable item could be seeing some simplifications, but gear crafting is probably not going to change all that much.
Consume.
Gotcha.
Certainly not warranted in gathering things.
Certainly not warranted in gathering things. So certainly going to see some significant changes to gathering, I would imagine, in that case then. Are we going to say ripperoni pepperoni to gathering spectres, maybe? I think we might.
And so I think we're looking to kind of tier out the level of complexity across professions to make sure that there are approachable points for people who want to have the fantasy of being a crafter, but don't necessarily want to go all the way down that rabbit hole.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm good.
Stay out of my rabbit hole. Get out of my rabbit hole, boys and girls. But yes, that's the only snippet of information that came out of any of the early access, the early first looks at midnight, the announced trailers and stuff. It's very interesting that it took a month or so, after, when was it? August? No, probably 2 months now. Almost. When was it? August 19th or something they announced midnight officially. So it's been a good 6 weeks at least. And it was only a week ago Breach was able to publish this little interview from then. And it gave us the one and only little snippet about crafting. But I think it could lead to some interesting changes. Simplification's being taken seriously, though. It clearly shows it was more than just like a passing comment. So it'll be cool to see. It'll be cool. What we got? 14 minutes on this thing. Can we bang out a delve in 14 minutes? Is that possible? Can we speedrun this delve in 14 minutes? What's the odds? It's tier 11 and I will probably die, so probably not, but let's try. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. If anything starts early, you're going to have to scream and shout at me and tell me. Maybe you meant it was the NPC blacksmith that made it. Yeah. The Crafters Consortium made quite the bank off blacksmiths. They always do, though. Let's just pull everything. Nothing can go wrong if you pull everything, right? Sounded like I had the music on twice for some reason. Why am I hearing an echo? Have I got flipping my own Twitch stream open somewhere? Hang on. Why am I hearing an echo? Oh. I had myself playing in the background, that would be why. Oh my god, we're nearly dead. Oh shit, pet's dead. Undo. I'm actually more excited for this than I was for Gamescom. Well, it was clear that Gamescom was gonna just be like very, very carefully constructed mini trailers and whatever, wasn't it? Not to mention they made us wait flipping 2 hours for a 2-minute flipping trailer. That annoyed me quite aggressively, to be honest. At least this time it's gonna be a dedicated video. Considering it's called a deep dive, it has to be more than 15 minutes long, right? Surely. You can't get that deep in only 15 minutes. Deep dives back when they did them, you know, traditionally at BlizzCon were usually reasonable length. That's what I knew that was coming. That's also what she said. They're gonna wheel out Metzen for this one. Maybe. Wheel him out. He has been missing for a while as Mr. Metzen, hasn't he? And the crowd goes wild. They mentioned him somewhere. They just drop his name into a social media post once every while for his SEO score. That's all it is. Oh wait, hang on. Was I meant to speak to somebody maybe a long, long time ago? Oh god. I haven't even started the delve. Whoops. Oh god. Amateur hour. Why are you having to make me speak to a dude right back at the beginning and not doing anything to tell me that I'm stupid? Please be retroactive. Oh god. Oh, it is actually kind of retroactive. It's fine. Where are you going? Running off. Oh, I've absolutely scuffed this. Get aggro on you, maybe, please. Get you pew pew, please. There's no way I'm gonna do this in time, is there? I might have done this in time if I hadn't completely screwed up the whole thing. Let me tag this one as well. Why is it generating like negative profit? I make more profit crafting on the auction house right now. What's going on? Yoink. Nice. That this one done? Oh, we spotted the rare apparently. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Give me more profit. Give me more profit. I'm having to concentrate way too much on this. I was not planning for this at all. This was not in my, This was not the plan. I should sack off this delve, to be honest. I might not get it finished. What have we got? 14 minutes? 14 minutes? Speedy, speedy now. Speedy, speedy now. There's something around here. Where can I see it? Is it hiding? Coming over here. What keeps pew-pewing me? Stop it. One more. Beautiful. Right, let's move on. Go, go, go. Faster now. Faster, faster. It has kind of made me think that if they are going to tweak gathering, if they're going to remove spec trees or something from gathering, for example, that's going to make the war within... Would they must then, if they do that, they must keep the war within and Dragonflight like the same. Are they going to still keep the profession? I guess they would. Does mean you're going to have a massive leg up on gathering any War Within or any Dragonflight materials in the future. If you actually did it and filled out the trees properly. I had a thought earlier as well, you know. Considering we're getting a item level squish, what the hell is that going to do to profession tools? Are profession tools going to be included in the profession squish? Because if they do... If they do include them in the squish, that will have a weird effect, because then all of your multi-craft and resourcefulness stats from your tools are going to go totally doolally. Not that once we leave the expansion there's much need to craft much of anything anyway, but it would weirdly mean that you'd be able to craft stuff. There might come a point where your multi-craft and resourcefulness for this expansion's crafts just falls through the floor. Which could be weird. Because a stat squish is the kind of thing that would come in with pre-patch, probably. Rather than with the actual expansion launch. Since they're not used in combat, can't they just leave them alone? Well, yeah, that's the question. Like, do they? Do they just not touch them? What do they do? I mean, in theory. I wonder how a stat squish would affect the profession tools. All the questions. Starting in 4 minutes. I'm not going to get this finished, am I? I'm not going to get this finished. I didn't prep any snacks. I didn't even have time to do dinner properly. I cheated and I ordered a pizza. Should have ordered a robot to come to my house and bring me snacks. Just pull everything that's worked in the past. It has worked. It is an option. Ah, sack it off. Sack it off. Let's watch the event. Right. We're nearly ready. Nearly there. Premieres in 3 minutes. Do a refresh just in case. What was that? Be sure to stick around after the deep dive premiere to be summoned to the midnight developer Q&A. Oh, what are people wanting in chat? Let's have a little look. What are people saying in chat? Darkwing, I recognise that name. Account-wide reps, please. Rework Warlocks. Armani Trolls for the Horde. Oh no, what is this? What is this? The official World of Warcraft channel has better channel redeems than I do. Oh god. Oh god. Now I feel bad. Now I feel real bad. Whoops. Whoops. Grab a beer, grab some snacks, pause the delve. Nah, sack it off. I won't go back to it. I'll have logged out. I'll have logged out before that happens. They don't have Poppy Cam though, they suck. That is true. No Poppy Cam. Shocking behaviour, right? Poppy Cam's not going to have much value this evening. One Doge is in the bed. One Doge is in the bed. There's another Doge. That's a stick on the floor, by the way, before anybody says there's a stray log. Other puppy. Nips was fast asleep. They're both chilling. They've had their dinner. They've had a walk, so they're chilling now. They're chilling. Can I get rid of YouTube? Get rid of YouTube Premiere chat. I don't think I care. 60 seconds. 1 minute. Don't know how they stay asleep with me screaming and shouting all the time, but apparently they do. Where do we want to watch it? Where do we want to watch it, chat? Do we want to watch it on YouTube or do we want to watch it on Twitch? Or I wonder if the deep dive probably won't be on Twitch, will it? Although they are officially live, apparently. Shall I knock them? Shall I knock them? Ah, unavailable. Ah, damn. There's a feature on Twitch, right? If you stream, you can knock on another stream to collab with them. Mr. GM's clever, he's turned it off. I could knock on Bear. Hey, Bear. You could do it. Right, 5 minutes to go, apparently. We're being baited. That means they're slow to press play on Team YouTube as well. Right, too many tunes going on. Too many tunes going on. Oh! Team YouTube's doing something. Okay, Team YouTube is slow. We're going to watch on Twitch. Team YouTube is 5 seconds behind. Right, sack you off. We're watching on Twitch. I've YouTube Premium and Twitch Turbo either way, so there's no worry about ads on either. I don't see ads. I've not seen an ad for years. Right then, wow. Deep me. Give me the deets. Neither do I, but I don't got premium. Rebel. Absolute rebel. Complete monster. Absolute monster. Need to make a bingo card. I never do bingo cards. I'm never good at coming up with ideas, and I always remember too late. I don't think there's too much bingo-esque to expect, though. Some info about Prey, actually, would be kind of nice. I mean, all of this will start alpha turns up tomorrow. We'll start to be able to see it firsthand, but I've been wondering what this Prey system is going to be. But, yeah, professions more so than anything else is intriguing me. I wonder where I put my camera. Are we good in the corner here? Are we good in the corner here? I put me a little bit more in the corner. Me a bit more in the corner. Hopefully I won't be covering anything too important then. Like Revealed 2.0, so many streamers are online. Well, it was always going to be a busy evening, wasn't it? Always going to be a busy evening. Drops will probably start in 3 minutes as well. Drops will probably pop off in a minute. You'll have to let me know when the Twitch drops kick off, because I probably won't have an actual Twitch channel up properly. Let's see. Oh, there was double audio. I thought there was double audio. I thought I was going mad. I got to be careful. I don't have the same flipping page open 15 times. Right, minute 40. Race system is go target area and AFK until the mob attacks you. It could be. Sit and wait. Yeah, who's the prey? Are we the prey? Are they the prey? Good question. Good question. One minute. 1 minute. Perfect time to repost auctions. You need to, you got to, best time to post auctions is when you die in LFR. You don't even accept battle reses. You're just like, no, my fate is sealed. My fate is sealed. I got a drink ready, just in case. It's gonna be my 3rd can of Coke of the day. I'm gonna get fucking diabetes and die. Not good. Gonna be like D4's internal horde sneak attack on you. 3 seconds! Everybody shut the fuck up. Let's go!
What's up, everybody?
Hey, the man himself!
Of The War Within, the first dramatic chapter of the World Soul Saga. We've seen the adventure take us into the depths of the world, and even the
volume. Are we good?
Cast
we good?
out in the great dark beyond.
Get quiet.
We've seen our villain Xalatath running around and amassing untold power. We've seen her siphon the energies of Dalaran, and even those of the black blood beneath Azj-Kahet. And recently, Xalatath assumed the power of the last Void Lord, Dimensius.
Should not
so the
assume.
question remains, what will she do with all that power? And what are her intentions relative to our precious World Soul? So now, as midnight descends, and the second, darker chapter of our trilogy begins,
He's really trying
Xalatath
hard.
has returned to Azeroth, leading an army known
Collector's
as
edition on
the
the shelf.
Devouring Host, intent on snuffing out
There
the
it is in
light
the background,
of the
look.
Sunwell and plunging the world into
There it
darkness. You, the heroes of Azeroth, will be set on a collision course with Xalatath to save not only Azeroth itself, but everything that is.
Dun dun dun. Alpha footage. Alpha footage. Looks tired. He looks unwell.
Hi
You
everyone.
think?
As we kick off our Midnight Alpha, we'd like to give you all a deep dive into what's in store. We want to recap everything we've shared so far, along with some brand new details. Today we're going to talk about the story of Midnight, as well as the zones, dungeons, delves, and raids that await if you want to save our world from Xalatath. We're also going to talk about some big new features coming in Midnight, like Prey and the Devourer Demon Hunter specialization.
Okay,
And of
we are going to
course,
get Prey
let's
info.
not forget housing. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as always, thank you for being a part of this amazing community, for choosing to spend your time in Azeroth and with each other. Now, without further ado, let's see what's in store for our home away from home. After all, it's nearly midnight.
7 p.m. Nearly midnight.
The void storm rages in the sky.
Towley's got the tank
The
cards.
surging
Yeah, a few
vortex
creators got
of
them.
shadow and
Not me.
chaos.
I'm not in that group. I'm not in that fun
Xalatath
club.
has returned. Wielding the dark heart,
Bear
she
got
carves a
one.
path of
She was
destruction
chuffed.
through once tranquil lands. Her all-consuming goal, devour the heavens, blot out all light, and bring about her midnight. It is in the shadow of this swirling storm that the defenders of Azeroth must rally once more. For peace, for the light, for the good. This is not a battle. It is a reckoning. At the Sunwell, that eternal bastion of light and hope, Lady Liadrin and Lord Themar Theron lead the Blood Elves as they prepare to make their final stand. Because across all worlds and all stories, one thing never changes. Home is worth fighting for. Welcome to World of Warcraft Midnight.
Dun dun dun. Like a dungeon keeper mission
Your
intro. It
story
is actually.
begins on
Yeah.
the Isle of Quel'Danas. In the immediate aftermath of Xalatath's invasion, the Sunwell surges with light, calling out to all heroes of Azeroth for aid, while the vile creatures of the Void wage a relentless assault in the hopes of extinguishing it once and for all.
Vile
Flying
warlocks.
monstrosities attack from darkened skies, and malign foes manifest without warning to wreak havoc across the plateau. Stand true with the champions of Azeroth as they mount a desperate defense against
there
this
was some
invasion.
cool
For
transmog
if the Sunwell
daggers.
falls, so too does the world. The defense of the Sunwell leads you directly into Silvermoon City.
We
But
visited
not
Silver
the
Moon.
one you know. The renewed light of the Sunwell symbolizes Silvermoon's revitalization, shining over a city fully restored to a thrumming, living capital. Familiar
Thrumming?
landmarks
Don't like that
gleam
word.
with fresh polish, while new areas like the Sanctum of Light
It's like
and the
moist.
Garden of Remembrance offer countless nooks and stories to explore. Inside the city walls, the threat of Xalatath's war draws the Alliance and Horde into wary cooperation, with shared spaces hosting common services like trainers, the auction house, vendors.
Oh, there's our
and
new
more.
home. There's
Around
my
a
new
third of
home.
the city remains off-limits to those under the Lion's banner, so the Alliance allegiant should
Get
tread
wrecked,
lightly
Alliance.
or risk being attacked on sight.
Get on
Outside
site.
the city walls, however, is where your role in the fight against the Void really begins to take shape. The strength of the Sunwell infuses Eversong Woods with restorative energy, healing much of the damage of wars past and filling the zone with new growth and new life. All of what you remember of this lush, thriving forest is here. But Eversong is also a reimagined landscape of increased scale and greater beauty. Most noticeably,
It's a
the
good-looking zone
Ghostlands
to
and
begin with.
Eversong Woods are now joined into one large zone, which is itself joined to the Eastern Kingdoms. Eversong's flourishing fluorescence is not without complication. Though the Sunwell's light is a boon to the environment, its surging power causes pockets of light bloom, small groves of light-enriched growth, to experience surges of their own. The light bloom's rampant propagation, if left unchecked, threatens to smother all life under an overgrown tangle. Your adventures through Eversong
gonna
will have
feel
you
like,
investigating the light bloom,
10.2.
dealing with the aftermath of a Hawkstrider chick
What was
gone
that?
wild,
Chicken!
helping a suspicious
a mi-
apothecary with
It's a
questionable motives,
chocobo.
untangling the secrets of two feuding nobles, and even getting caught up in a sinister murder plot, alongside Magister Umbric as he works to crack the secrets of the Void. It is up to you how your story progresses beyond Eversong Woods, with 3 available paths you can tackle in any order. Brave the ancient troll kingdom of Zulaman. Investigate the gnarled
Okay,
hidden
so
roots of Harandar. Or accompany
default
Arator
first
on his
zone.
journey to better understand the light, the void, and himself. Zulaman finds the Amani troll empire at one of its lowest points. The homeland of warlord Zuljin, Zulaman was once a place where Loa bestowed to the Amani their godly strength, and were devoutly revered in kind. The temples still stand, weathered but proud.
Feels
The
like
eagle,
I've been here before.
the lynx, the dragonhawk, and the bear. Ascend wind-swept sky-scraping peaks, explore ruins shrouded in fog, traverse stormy wilds teeming with vicious beasts, and accompany Zuljara, granddaughter of Zuljin, and the pragmatic pillar of strength now leading the Amani, as she seeks a means
The
to
narration's
save
good,
her
though.
people from void-aligned cultists and the monsters they revere. The Amani are invaluable
One step away
allies
from,
in the defense against
Attenborough.
Xalatath's invading force. If you help them fight for their home, they will help you fight for yours. At the confluence of the world tree's roots lies an impossible primordial jungle known as Harandar. It is here that Azeroth's entire history wraps,
hell is that
twists,
thing?
and braids, a literal entanglement of all that has been.
Oh,
and
new herb.
all
Who
that
spotted the
will
new herb?
be. Harandar is a land of magical, powerful growth. Fungal towers, glowing moss bridges, and entire villages sprout from Harandar's wild, organic fabrics. The pulsing heart of this knotted tangle is the cradle, once the domain of a nascent goddess, long vanished, and now the home of the Haranir, who have for generations lived secretly under its soothing light. The
Kids
reclusive
running around.
Haranir are a proud and insular people. They have long avoided interfering in matters of the world above, but Xalatath's destructive ambition does not stop at the surface, and the Haranir can no longer afford the luxury of neutrality. There is another way you can help with the defense of Azeroth against Xalatath's cruel machinations. Accompany Erator, son of Turalian and Elaria Windrunner, on a continent-spanning journey in the hopes of bolstering the Sunwell and strengthening the vanguard of the light. This story-driven adventure finds you traveling with Eretor as he searches for sacred relics and attempts to peel back the mysteries of the void, all while grappling with his own relationships to his family
That's a big
and the
sword.
light. Eretor's mission brings new experiences to familiar locations. Defend Light's Hope Chapel from an attack by Scourge forces. Fight through the darkened corridors of Scarlet Monastery to put to rest those who would pervert the light
to
for
SM.
their own nefarious gain, and work with Sunwalker Desco in Hammerfall to help Eretor in discovering the paladin he aspires to become. Eretor's story reaches its climax in the shadow of Blackrock
Revisited Scarlet
Mountain,
Monastery
alongside
again,
the
maybe?
Sons of Lothar, he must face the weight of his father's legacy and decide once and for all whether he is willing to rise to meet it. The raging center of an unraveling shadowy maelstrom and the epicenter of Zalatath's power, Voidstorm overflows with violence,
Scarlet
chaos,
Monastery
and
the
hostility.
third, yeah.
Storm fields twist and fold its space. Gravity becomes untethered and tethers again. Insatiable void creatures known as Dominar stalk the storm, each one as unique and ancient as it is hateful and hungry. They carry on their eternal hunt for power under the black gaze of three
Even before
enormous
people want
nexus
those to be a
points,
playable race?
hubs of the malicious dark energy Zalatath draws upon to fuel her void spar and conduct her unyielding assault against the Sunwell. Join Azeroth's champions and the Void Elves in their quest to understand what powers this storm and stave off its approach. Though much of the world of Midnight lies in the
Art
ominous shade
team's
of the
doing their bit
approaching
again, aren't
void,
they?
there is at least one refuge for the weary, the Arcantina. What began as a hidden sanctuary
Arcantina.
is now a not-so-secret tavern haven for Horde and Alliance alike. A big, cozy space filled by music, chatter, and life.
Ow, who let the wolves
If the void
in?
is the bleak
Stupid
and
foxes.
the cold, the Arcantina is its opposite. A warm spark in the heart of every patron. It is a place to gather with friends, find the perfect comfy sitting room, or just soak in the atmosphere of a well-traveled watering hole. As a crossway for people of all kinds, the Arcantina also serves as a source of new adventures. Familiar faces stop by here and there, spinning stories and offering quests that send you far across Azeroth in search of relics of the past. Follow the course they set for you to discover a fresh perspective on familiar locations. Zalatath is determined in her destiny.
Is that like
an
them
unrelenting
expanding on the
foe
Lore
with
Master
an
thing?
army that never sleeps. But you can't live every moment in grim resistance.
He's in his chair.
The Arcantina is always here, should you find yourself in need of a little respite.
Garrison Inn's back.
The
Yeah.
mysteries of the origins of the void and the knowledge and power to stop it are not to be found only on the surface. For true deliverance, as always, hides in snarled labyrinths, looming temples, deadly ruins. These delves, dungeons, and raids are the real font of power, the sacred and defiled spaces from which strength is not just earned, but taken. Across this void-darkened
Okay.
world, hide
Have a look at
myriad
delves,
delves
then.
overflowing with incalculable danger.
Spent enough
Located
time in
on the
delves
Isle
this
of
expansion.
Quel'Danas, Parhelion Plaza is an outdoor delve that drops you into the heart of the defense of the Sunwell. Fight against the surge of the Void's attack by restoring Parhelion's defenses, commanding an artillery of light, ducking into pocket dimensions, and putting down Gladius Slana, a Dominar who uses summoned Voidwalkers as weapons against your stand. Expect to plunge the depths of 9 other delves and 1 seasonal nemesis delve when Midnight launches.
10 delves on
You do not
launch?
have to face these delves alone. Valera Sanguinar is a powerful new companion with a rogue-minded approach to problem-solving. As a DPS,
Looks
her
better to
killing-spree
follow
ability
than
is
Bran.
moving through the shadows to lash out at multiple enemies. As a healer,
Don't know how
she
she's gonna
uses
tank,
vampiric
though.
reaping to rip away the life force of enemies into orbs you can collect to heal. And as a tank, She uses your first mistake to taunt and do damage over time to any enemy that turns their back on her to attack her ally.
Oh,
Valeera is
backstab
also a
becomes a
prolific
taunt.
provider
Clever.
of poisons that, depending on her role, empower you with more damage, better avoidance, increased speed, and more.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Your adventures in Midnight eventually lead you down darker paths, paths that end in overgrown corridors and ruin-stricken relics, forgotten places of powers best left unstirred. Yet these dungeons promise plunder worthy of the peril, should you have the courage to overcome the challenges within. Windrunner Spire, the former residence of the Windrunner family, haunts the skyline of Eversong Wood's western shore. The strained relationship of its namesake sisters, Varisa, Sylvanas, and Ilaria, imbues its
drop's
halls
working, by
with
the
a
way.
sullen, spiteful energy. The restless spirits bound to this animosity threaten all who draw near. Among these spirits walks the Windrunner's sole brother, Lirith, who needs your help in quelling this restlessness and clearing his once great home of hate. Serenity, however, is not so easily claimed. There are other forces that seek dominion over this domain. Emberdawn, a fire-colored dragonhawk, claims the dilapidated gardens of the Spire as a nest for her young. She is fiercely territorial, answering intruders with both talon and flame. The derelict duo comprised of the Banshee Callis and her loyal abomination Latch lead a band of fanatical undead in a hunt for relics tied to Sylvanas. They meet outside interference with a mix of shadowy magic and brute strength. Commander Krolok, a merciless orc who oversaw countless conquests
He's
during
pink.
the Second War that took Lirith Windrunner's life, stalks the Spire with an insatiable bloodlust. Since being slain in vengeance by Ilaria, Krolok knows only torment and the desire to pass it on. The restless heart, a concentrated whirlwind of grief and suffering born from the conflict of the Windrunner sisters, envelops all who remain in turbulent turmoil. This swirling specter takes the form of a ranger, combining the power of the wind with volleys of arrows to cut down the uninvited. Windrunner Spire was, at one point, a living embodiment of family and of legacy. With the help of Lirith and your allies, you can make it so once more. 7 more dungeons await you in Midnight, each one crawling with the Cutthroat and the Craven. Magister's Terrace and Murder Row in Eversong Woods, the Den of Nalorak and Mysara Caverns in Zulaman, Blinding Vale in Harandar, and the Voidscar Arena and Nexus Point Zenith in Voidstorm.
They all look quite cool, you know.
The most tyrannical antagonists of Azeroth work their dark deeds from within Midnight's 3 new raids. The Void
3 new
Spire,
raids.
where 6 bosses hold court over the heart of the Void, and muster against the amassing vanguard of the light as it readies to storm the walls of Xalatath's stronghold. The Dream Rift, where you must join in the hunt for an undreamt god that never should have been, and put down half-birthed abominations that lash out against existence itself. And the march on Quell Danas, an encounter still shrouded by the fog of war beyond the known
It's
presence
a
of
golden
Beleren,
pigeon.
the void-corrupted phoenix,
Oh,
who
I want
stakes a
that one.
ceaseless watch over the entrance to the chambers beyond. The Void threatens to end all of Azeroth, to rend the world in the squall of a black tempest. But the extraordinary power it carries does provide opportunities to those heroes willing to embrace it. Devoured demon hunters bend the Void to their will, ripping Void fragments from
We're
their
gonna have
enemies
to roll a
and
demon
using
hunter
them
at
as the
some
power
point.
source for
We might have to.
cataclysmic spells. They are mid-range damage dealers, armed with a summonable Void Scythe, darting in and out of the fray as they dance on the line between control and chaos. Voidblade and Hungering Slash work in concert. Dash into melee range to deliver a series of crushing Void Scythe attacks, then use Vengeful Retreat to escape the enemy's reprisal. You can also start this combo off with a Void-charged The Hunt. Metamorphosis transforms you into a familiar state of cursed power. The more you feed it, the longer it lasts. Ride the wave of annihilation by tearing apart
Any
souls
Demon Hunter
and
mains in
staying
chat?
alive.
You getting all
Reap
juicy
is a
over this?
sweeping scythe attack that consumes all of your soul fragments for one massive burst of damage. Use Void Ray to cut through enemies in a straight line and leave them smoldering. Collapsing Star channels the immense energy of a dying star, focusing it into one single destructive blast.
Boom.
The more you cast it during your Void metamorphosis, the stronger it gets. Demon Hunters also find themselves with new disciples in Midnight. Void Elves are sharpening their warglaives and joining the hunt.
Looking very shiny. Gonna main a Demon Hunter
Newly
for the
awakened
first
to
patch.
the dire threat of
Yeah,
Midnight,
yeah, whilst
the
they're
Haranir
completely
join
broken,
the fight for the
overpowered,
surface
yeah.
as the next playable allied race. Haranir are deeply entwined with the organic world. Theirs is a culture shaped not by cities or by conquest, but by the roots, the stones, the quiet pulse of the deepest breath of the world. Their armor, their weapons, their skin, all are infused with the inner light of organic power. Even the mightiest primordial predator in Harandar knows to fear the telltale luminescence of a Haranir's markings in the dense jungle brush. They are primal, ferocious hunters, a force of nature unto themselves, who possess the racial ability to travel along the roots of the world, from Harandar to any world tree, or from anywhere back to Harandar. Haranir are versatile warriors who can choose from a wide range of paths, including
Kinda
those
like
of
a mage,
warrior,
but not as
hunter,
good as a mage,
rogue,
kinda like a
priest,
druid.
shaman,
Okay.
mage, warlock, monk, and druid. The last of which has all new forms that reflect the Haranir's unique
Yo,
connection
those
to those
druid
hidden
forms
parts
look
of the
kind of
earth.
fun.
Prey is a secret opt-in initiative run out
Oh,
of
here we go.
Silvermoon City by Astalor Bloodsworn, a blood
Prey
elf with
feature.
what some might call a colorful past. Astalor is after one thing: anguish, a powerful magic siphoned from Azeroth's deadliest threats, and he's offering generous compensation to heroes who are courageous or foolhardy enough to go chase it. Astalor's lair in
Animal
Murder
farming?
Row is your base of operations for Prey, the place where you pick your targets, track your progress, and collect your rewards, including cosmetics, mounts, titles, and housing items. The deeper you go, the harder the challenges, and the more you unlock. Prey has 3 difficulties. Normal, which serves as an introduction to the system, along with offering plenty of challenge. Hard, where the ambushes get meaner and the encounters more intense. And Nightmare, which is just about the fastest way to gain intimate knowledge of Midnight's many new and scenic graveyards. Prey can ambush you at any time, whether you're questing, exploring, or minding your own business. Each time you defeat your target, you increase your advantage by tiring them out and buying time to find whatever dark hole they're hiding in. Higher difficulties incorporate torments, personal afflictions that only impact you. Torments cause a wide range of effects, like creating an AoE damage puddle under recently deceased foes, or haunting you with a bloody spirit that deals lethal damage when it catches you. A torment can also manifest in the form of Astalor's impatience, forcing you to make a kill within a specific time limit before Astalor simply extracts his payment from you. Prey targets are all different, and all deadly. Magister Sunbreaker, a disgraced blood elf whose reckless magic is a threat to Silvermoon and everyone near it. High Vindicator Vareem, a zealot who believes the Void can only be defeated by covering the entire world in holy flame, and is ready to put that belief to the test. Executor Canius, a sadistic dominar whose primary hobby is murdering anyone foolish enough to challenge his martial prowess.
I wonder if
Prey
these
is a
are
way to add
legitimately
excitement,
going to be hard,
unpredictability, and challenge to
or
your
whether
journey
it will
through
just be
Midnight.
that you just
But
outgear
be
it
warned,
and face
there's a
roll it.
reason Astalor isn't chasing these targets himself. For those who tread the worn paths
Guess we'll need
and
to
soaring
find out.
skyways of
More
Azeroth,
questions.
it is more than a world, more than story, character, or conflict. Azeroth is, and always will be, home. Housing
Neighborhoods.
in Midnight is dedicated to that ineffable feeling of being part of something bigger, of something greater, of living a real life as a true part of a real world. Housing in WoW is built to give you boundless self-expression in the place you call yours. Collect hundreds of decorations and dive deep on customization. Place, rotate, scale, and move items to your heart's content. This is more than changing a coat of paint or choosing a different picture frame. It's a sandbox for your imagination. World of Warcraft has over 2 decades of content, and the time you've spent in Azeroth over the years will yield a bounty of housing rewards. Milestones like completing your Legion Order Hall campaign or finishing completionist achievements like Back to the Beyond will award housing items post facto. You'll also earn decor through dungeons and raids, reputation vendors, achievements, quest lines, housing endeavors, the auction house, holidays and live events, and
the auction house.
crafting.
And crafting.
All professions from all expansions can craft decor. Search the world for lumber, a new gathering resource, and use it to craft decorations that can be bought and sold on the auction house.
Bought and sold.
Many housing-specific items can be dyed, giving you greater control of the finer details of decorating. Imagine your dream home. Collect and craft the decor to bring it to reality. Then tweak it until it is just right. Floor plans are flexible. You can rotate and stack rooms to create multi-floor structures. A variety of room types and shapes are available, including normal squares and rectangles, L and T hallways, as well as some more fantastical configurations. Advanced mode takes the toolset even further, allowing you to adjust each piece of decor exactly as you want. Rotate, float, scale, and more to make your home a perfect reflection of your taste. And that's just the inside. The outside of your house is also customizable. Place your home how you want it on your plot. Add fountains, statues, planters, and more. Change out your windows.
Garden
Pick the
cups.
perfect chimney. Add a tower. And decide on the
Can't
door
wait to
of
create
your
my sex
dreams.
dungeon below home.
Exterior plots also have the same advanced mode as interiors for even more modification. At Midnight's official launch, you'll have a choice between exterior themes
Welcome
based
to the
on
Pink
orcs,
Flamingo.
humans, blood elves, and night elves. These aren't just skins. They're full architectural styles with unique customization options. Orc homes feature hide rooftops, bonfires, and rugged surfaces. Human homes are rustic, with sturdy stone walls, warm wooden floors, and colorful banners. Level up your house to unlock more flexibility. New rooms and floors, bigger house sizes, increases in the number of spots for decor, and more. Every house is in a shared zone known as a neighborhood, where you and others can show off your homes, build community, and participate in rolling challenges to earn housing rewards. Neighborhoods feature a wide variety of biomes, from spooky forests and coastal plains in Founder's Point to lush oases and windswept bluffs in razor-wind shores.
Oh, good.
All
I was
contain
hoping
different
this,
kinds
the
of
neighborhoods
plots.
would be different.
Some are secluded and quiet, while others are clustered for the socially vibrant. Your neighborhood is faction-coded in its aesthetics, but not faction-exclusive in its residency. You have the choice between 2 types of neighborhood. Private neighborhoods where guilds or groups of friends can form their own space. Public neighborhoods where you'll find a home among friends you haven't met yet. Private neighborhoods come in 2 varieties. Guild neighborhoods, which scale to fit your guild roster, and charter neighborhoods, which are capped at 50 homes and are perfect for tight-knit communities. Endeavors are monthly neighborhood-wide activities that bring everyone together to complete
Charter
tasks,
neighborhood might be,
unlock themed decorations,
required.
and contribute to helping your neighborhood evolve. Participate in endeavors to earn House XP and community coupons that give you access to exclusive decor. Above all, housing is designed to help you find your perfect space and transform it to your own fantasy haven. To create your own home, sweet home.
And there you have it.
I like it.
Thank you so much on behalf of the entire World of Warcraft team for joining us for this overview of Midnight. And if after what you just saw, you can't wait to get your hands on housing, don't worry, because it's coming your way if you have Midnight in early December of this year.
Hey, release date.
And we'll see you in Azeroth.
Told you it's coming in December. Not really a release date, but early December. Told you, I'd put money on that. 11/27 launch, December. Third, Mikey, third. Yeah, I know. Did they really advertise Death Recap as a feature?
Friends, we hope you've enjoyed this deeper look at Midnight. But as you can see, this fight is far from over. The drums of war thunder once again, and Azeroth needs her champions, now more than ever.
Optional in-game purchases. Oh, okay, okay. Straight transition into a waiting screen. Nice. Nice. Okay. High quality overview. Excited.
Is that your wallet?
Money went into that.
Just glad to see me.
Without doubt, money went into that for sure. Mr. Gumdrops, how we doing? Welcome in, my man. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. Or more like, probably good morning. Yeah, the narration in that was really good. I like the narration in that. Big fan of the narration. Pre-recorded video, wait again. Well, it might be... it might just switch into actual live mode. Possibly, maybe, probably. We'll see. Is it just me or does medicine look consumed? Some people were saying he wasn't looking overly
What's up, everybody?
healthy.
Here at the end of The War Within, the first dramatic chapter of the World Soul Saga.
I don't lie, he does look tired, doesn't he? He looks tired. Where was the all professions from all expansions can craft decor. I'm rewinding with the new Twitch Turbo feature. I instinctively went back to YouTube to do exactly that. Yeah, I can technically do that on Twitch now, I suppose, can't I? And go back to here somewhere in Twitch.
Magic siphoned from
I instinctively went back to YouTube to do exactly that. All professions from all expansions can craft decor. What else did they say?
housing rewards. Milestones like completing your Legion Order Hall campaign or finishing completionist achievements like Back to the Beyond will award housing items post facto.
Why did we watch it on Twitch? I've just realised the bitrate is like 19,000 times better on YouTube. Why the hell did I watch it on Twitch? Probably watch it on YouTube where it actually has some pixels. They're streaming in 4K over on YouTube. What a donkey.
Will also earn decor through dungeons and raids, reputation vendors, achievements, quest lines, housing endeavors.
Yo, look at the donuts! Didn't even notice those before. The 3 pixels we get on Twitch. It's an actual donut cut.
The auction house, holidays and live events, and crafting. All professions from all expansions can craft decor. Search the world for lumber.
Search the world. This looks like it's going to be open and available for everybody. This is the Isle of Dawn, by the way, because you can tell it's got the it's got Mr. Dragon Race in the back there.
a new gathering resource, and use it to craft decorations that can be bought and sold on the auction house. Many housing...
Use it to craft. It did specifically say use it to craft, rather than directly selling on the auction house. I am calling it. It's going to be warbound. Lumber is going to be warbound. If you want to be crafting and selling decor, get prepared to be traversing the map as frequently and as often as you can to get as much lumber as you can. I can see it coming now. All professions from all expansions. That means many recipes. Yeah, just do the math on that. How many expansions are there? 10 expansions. How many professions are there? 8 primary crafting professions. That's 80 possibilities just there. Even if they only have 2 or 3 recipes each, that's a few hundred recipes to chase after. Don't have any gathering characters, might need to work on that. Well, all professions would necessarily lead you to believe it encompasses gathering professions as well, not just regular crafting ones, but we'll have to see. That could just be, could just be script writing. Lumber feels more like dirt versus a profession gatherer. Want to sell lumber boosting? Maybe. God, let's hope not.
Specific items can be dyed, giving you greater...
Is out of curiosity, is it, because that's gone straight to the video. Yeah, we're gonna watch the Q&A on YouTube because it's in 4K. I'm watching it on Twitch in peasant resolution. Peasant resolution, 1080p 60. Where's this peasant resolution?
Azeroth's deadliest threats, and he's offering generous
We'll have to live with being 3 seconds behind. Live with being 3 seconds behind. Oh, hang on, let's go back to the actual channel. Let's just pause it. Want to buy Alpha for Manthe so we can pester somebody with everything we need to know. Yeah, me too. Me too. I should point out, now that I've got a bunch of you listening, there will be, I'm going to use the Discord significantly more aggressively if I do get access to the alpha. It's going to be a shameless way for me to plug the Discord on a very, very, very regular basis. But I'll be making some channels. I don't know to what degree. We'll see how. We'll start off with a couple for just general chat and whatever about alpha related stuff, but I might make a threads channel in the Discord. This way commonly asked questions can be threaded and people can chat about specific topics in a little bit of detail that way. Regardless to whether I get access to the alpha or not, I will probably do that just so it's a one-stop place for people to easily, find stuff. Am I going to get the collector's edition when it becomes available? Maybe. I haven't decided. Aha! A wild wife appears. I've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes until next event. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, boys and girls, and say hi to the wife. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay. Woo. Woo. Talk about cutting it fine. Holy. Jesus. Timing on that one. Right then.
Hello, we are live.
Oh my God,
Welcome
they
to
are
the
actually
World of
live.
Warcraft Midnight Q&A. I'm Randy Jordan, and I go by Kyvax on the Warcraft community team. We recently asked WoW players on
Audio
forums
sync.
and social
That's
media
not a me
sites
thing.
to submit questions, and you delivered. So, we've got 3 leaders of the WoW development team here. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Ian Hasikostas, Game Director on WoW.
Hi, my name is Paul Cubitt. I'm Associate Game Director on World of Warcraft, working on the Midnight expansion.
Hi, I'm Maria Hamilton. I'm the Design Director for WoW.
We got
Is
a
the
lot of
audio
questions,
sync
and I
a
want to get
YouTube
right
thing?
to them. We're going to start with some housing questions. So, Cyglaive on the forums asked, it actually said, during a Gamescom interview, it was mentioned that Horde players would be able to use Alliance-style
Paul
housing
Cubitt was the
exteriors
profession
and
lead in
vice
Legion.
versa.
Yes.
However, in a recent blog post, it was stated that the housing styles would be faction-locked.
That's as much
get
as the
clarification on
volume goes.
Yes, there was
It's very
a bit
quiet
of confusion
there, end.
definitely around the Gamescom messaging there. As we just saw in the deep dive video, the neighborhoods ultimately are anchored in specific locations in the world. If you are in the Alliance neighborhood, you are on the outskirts of Stormwind in the Elwyn area. If you are in the Horde neighborhood, you're on the outskirts of Orgrimmar.
Yeah,
While
it's
the
just
neighborhoods,
they're
more
just
private
quiet
neighborhoods
there,
can
end.
be cross-faction. You can have your guildmates, you can have your friends of the opposite faction move in. The general setting, the exterior houses there are going to reflect the location. The NPCs that are wandering around the neighborhood, again, are anchored in that place in the world. Maybe something that we revisit down the line, but for the time being, if you're in the Horde neighborhood, the home exteriors need to reflect the Horde aesthetic. Take that up with the Orgrimmar HOA if there's a concern.
Speaking of things wandering around, a player named Hey Hey on the EU Spanish forums asked, I know there are plans for combat pets to appear in housing. Are there also plans for hunter pets?
Yes, so pets are something in general that we are working towards. At release in Midnight, battle pets won't be available to be placed just yet. I think something that we need to solve to make that work on the engineering side is actually making sure that they can path and move comfortably around whatever configuration of objects you might happen to place in your home or in your yard. So we are planning on delivering that shortly after launch. Alongside that, we do want to add the ability to place your mounts in your mount collection. If you want to, have them on a hitching post in your yard, that's something we'd love to deliver as well. Hunter pets are probably trickier. Those are character specific, and housing is an account-wide system really tied to your warband. And so, pulling from a specific character's hunter pet stable would probably be much more challenging. I'll never say never, but that's not in the plans currently.
Decor.
Booey.
Bjorky on Reddit asked, how will the trading post housing items work? Let's say there's a chair on the trading post. Will we have to buy the chair multiple times if we want a set of 4 in our house? Will there be a 10-chair bundle for a set price? Or will the purchase
buy it once
give
with
us
10Ds,
infinite
buy
amount
repeat
of
once
chairs?
with gold.
So this is something we spent a good amount of time thinking about. There's going to be lots of ways that you can get decor starting in 11.2.7 and then into Midnight through achievements, through crafting, through completing just the campaign of Midnight and so on. And we ran into a lot of the same questions that you asked, the person who asked this question. Yes. And for that reason, we're actually just not going to have them on the trading post, at least for the first few months. There should be plenty of other ways that you can start gathering decor for your house. And then you won't have to make that hard decision.
It's not going to be on the trading, fair enough.
Or cool transmog.
Another question comes from Xanther on the forums. Xanther asked, how will outdoor housing plots work? If I want a certain plot and it's taken, do I have the option to try another instance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Essentially, when you want to move
Eviction,
house, you're just going to say, yep, it's time to move. It's all going to get packaged up for you. Paul likes to say that a mage comes along and puts it into an arcane ball for you. Don't know if that's actually,
That is what happens.
Oh, totally. Okay. And then you can go to wherever you'd like to deploy your house, and it just comes right back out of the bubble, set up exactly how you had it. So you can move around neighborhoods, you can move around different plots within a neighborhood. Yep, totally transportable.
Right on. Celia on the German WoW forums asked, will there be updates to the guild system in Midnight?
I think most of the updates we see to the guild system are going to be in the form of neighborhoods. We expect to see a lot of guilds, especially guilds who are like playing a lot actively with one another, to build guild neighborhoods where you'll be able to live alongside one another. So instead of
Can you imagine if no refunds ends up with a guild neighborhood? That's going to be the richest neighborhood in the world.
Whatever it is you choose to do. So, you might also just start running into one another in the morning when you go out to get the paper. And so really looking forward to seeing guilds build stronger connections based on those guild neighborhoods.
I think the other systemic trappings of the guild system are something that we know is definitely due for a refresh. Guilds obviously have been there since the beginning, and there's definitely room for improvement. Our focus for Midnight, though, really was on the housing integration side of it, and the rest of the system is something we hope to get back to in the near future.
It'll still be cheaper
A highly
than,
upvoted
Vancouver,
question on Reddit comes from Chilligok. Chilligok asked, will we ever get another texture update for older races? Especially compared to Earthen, the hairstyles are outdated now.
We do have a couple which are coming in Midnight. As you complete the Amani campaign in Zulaman, you will be able to unlock some cool cosmetics for Darkspear Trolls, some cool hairstyles, and actually skin colors as well. And so if you have any Darkspear Trolls on your account, you play through the campaign, you'll be able to get some cool customizations. And this is one of the ways that we do try to approach this, is as it's appropriate to the story, we'll look for cool ways that you can integrate cosmetics into your own character. That's not the only way that we might do this, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that we see as an issue to chip away at over time. We want to roll out extra customizations, hairstyles, you name it, for the existing races to continue to bring them up to parity with the very newest options. It's not something we're able to do all at once, but particularly where it makes sense and fits the story, we're excited to keep adding them. Our long-term goal is to get to a place where every race, whether brand new or one of the original ones, has roughly the same number of options.
So, as we just saw in the deep dive and going back to the Gamescom announcement, we have a system coming called Prey. And I have a couple of questions here about Prey. System of Cells on Reddit asked, will the Prey system make all mobs in the target zone more challenging, or only the Prey target plus world quests unique to that system?
Yeah, it will affect everything in the zone for you. So if you have chosen to go into the zone chasing a nightmare mode prey, everything is going to be much harder for you. It's based on an aura that's put on you, sort of like it's almost like an affliction in a way, or a torment. And as you move through that zone, it's going to be harder.
So it's literally a heroic world tier, yeah.
They are when they finally wear down that boss, if it's in one of the harder modes.
God, I wonder how many layers
if it's in the
that's
normal
going to
mode, then the rest
create
of the players in the vicinity can help you out.
Gotcha. The WoW creator Fandy asked, is the Prey system planned to be a part of the world row in vaults?
Yeah, in one way or another. As we build our expansion, one of the last things that comes in is specifics on rewards. So we don't have the specific details now, but when we do look at Prey, we look at it as similar in difficulty and sort of player activity to the types of things that you do in Delves. And Delves do take up that bottom row of the world row in the Great Vault as well. So we do expect, if you're running Prey, you're going to see better rewards in that row in one way or another.
Bolt from Prey, all right, sure.
I want to get to one of the most highly upvoted questions we saw across all channels. This is from Weird Dandom Ally on Reddit. And that goes, any plans to rejuvenate the glyph system? All classes could take advantage of it for class visual customizations.
This
like
is a
Warlocks
goblin
have
question.
with their pets, and druids with their forms.
Bring back glyphs.
Yeah, so there isn't a glyph overhaul planned for Midnight at launch in particular, but the general question of more customization for spell visuals, transforms, things along those lines, that's one that we're also very excited about and always looking to offer more customization, more cosmetic self-expression where possible. And the glyph system is a great vehicle for this. It's not the only vehicle, but where it makes sense, it's definitely one of the avenues we would use.
Speaking of highly upvoted questions, we got a lot from the PvP community. I want to ask a few of those. So starting with Keth Cup on Reddit, the question is, do you have any plans on making PvP less daunting for new players?
We absolutely do, yeah. We're really excited to introduce a new feature called Training Grounds. This is a feature where players can enter battlegrounds, fighting alongside other players against game-controlled opponents. So instead of fighting against other PvPers, potentially people who have been playing this mode much longer than you, who have better PvP gear than you, and are going to wipe the floor with you, you'll be able to fight against some opponents who you'll have a little bit more of a satisfying win rate against. And because of that, we think this will be a pretty good on-ramp for people who are PvP curious, who want to get into PvP, but feel like there's just too much of a steep on-ramp.
Hi, my name's
because of
Matthias.
those
I'm PvP curious.
aforementioned players who want to wipe the floor with you. This is going to start with a couple battlegrounds that players will be able to
I've only
jump
ever
into
once
with training
sucked a
grounds,
PvP
and
curious.
we'll see where we go from there.
I think,
Okay.
we love PvP, broadly speaking. I think one of the challenges is it can be very daunting to get in, as the question implies. If you're getting into PvP for the first time, you're in some cases jumping into a pool that's filled with sharks who've been doing this for 20 years. But there's so much, there's nothing quite like World of Warcraft PvP and that style of conflict, that style of combat. And so really our philosophical approach as we move into Midnight
We can be
to really
PvP
try to
curious
rejuvenate
together.
and grow the
Never
scene
alone,
is
never
to
again.
broaden the base of that pyramid so we can kind of lift the whole thing up and help all levels of it,
Try
whether
anything
you are
once.
the most hardcore person competing for titles at the end of every season. Everyone will be better served if people feel like they can actually enter this community for the first time and discover what is so great about WoW PvP.
Let's all be sharks.
So eventually.
The PvP player and creator known as Supatees had the most highly upvoted question on our forums. He wrote, "In the War Within, we saw major reward improvements and restructuring for Mythic Plus, which improved participation. Are there plans to look at the current reward structure for PvP, such as rating cutoffs or additional rewards?"
There are definitely plans to look at this. One thing I can say that will be changing at launch in Midnight and the first season of Midnight is that top tier cutoff coming down from 2,400 to 2,300 for those rewards and titles. I think looking at how MMR has evolved and how the rating ecosystem has played out, that's been a bit too exclusive even for some of our best players. Broadly speaking, beyond that, I think there's a lot more that we would like to do with the system. That's not necessarily going to be happening right at launch in Midnight, but if you look, for example, at what we changed with Mythic Plus and new titles and new structure and things like the resilient keystone system in War Within, those changes came in War Within patches. So as we look to PvP and its evolution over the course of Midnight, that's definitely an area that we want to focus on.
Got another one. Sandent on the WoW forums wrote, "Will War Mode receive more well-needed attention? More activities like zone objectives or rotating events? Maybe a free-for-all treatment?"
Yeah, we're adding a whole new area into the Voidstorm zone, a giant war mode area which reflects the same space as the Slayer's Rise Battleground. If you watched the deep dive video, you got to see that. That Slayer's Rise is also made manifest in the zone
I don't
itself.
go to then.
This is, if you've played war mode in past expansions, you know that we've taken a couple war mode areas and had maybe one in each zone, one in Ringing Deeps and one in Isle of Dorn, where PvP, when you enable war mode, you'll have some special, unique activities. We took all those and glumped them all together right into this Slayer's Rise area, and so there's going to be a huge PvP playground if you have war mode on, be able to do lots of cool world-class activities, reasons to just kill one another, and even if you don't have war mode enabled, there'll still be PvP-themed content for folks doing world quests up in that area.
Why would you not have war mode enabled?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
Because you're afraid of sharks.
Yeah, it's sharks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't like sharks.
Maclemente26 on Reddit asked a question that we saw a lot of, which is, when can we expect reputations from expansions prior to Shadowlands to become Warbound reputations?
Now, yesterday.
So yeah, taking full accountability here. I know that when we rolled out the warbands, we said that we were going to work our way backwards through reputations. We haven't made progress as quickly as we would have liked. We got some of the Shadowlands reputations, but not the Covenant ones. This is something we're going to pick up and resume. I can't commit to a definite timetable, but in the long run, we don't want this, internal disparity between how different expansions' reputations are handled, and we'll continue to start with the most recent and work our way backwards.
Thank you. Sixten on
Political
Blue Sky
answer.
said, War Within is the first WoW expansion without a legendary. Can we expect anything in Midnight, or is the team taking time to reevaluate what place legendaries have in the modern game?
I think we always want to avoid things seeming formulaic, where it's like, okay, you can expect it's a new season, there's going to be a new legendary, this is how it's going to work. Legendaries should always remain special. They should feel like these are items that have clear stories behind them and feel worthy of that special orange color. And yes, we're also looking always at issues with how they're awarded. We want to make sure they feel special, but also don't turn into something where it feels bad or grindy because they feel required if you want to be competitive. There's a fine line to walk there. There aren't currently any planned for the first tier of Midnight, but as we face certain foes down the line, it may make sense for some of the items that they yield to have that orange color, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I want to ask some lore questions. So, as Mira asked, will we be getting any more background information on story regarding Lyrath Windrunner? Sorry. Any of the other Windrunner family members, perhaps?
Absolutely. I don't want to talk too much about patches, but certainly in Midnight, as we go into the Spire, you will have the opportunity to really get a brother's view of his sisters and an opportunity to learn a lot more about what happened and what's happening in that place. And I mentioned before, we're going to see the sisters.
Max doing leaks again.
And Grody Toady on Blue Sky wants to ask about trolls. So here come all the names. Where is Vol'jin's story in all of this? I'm hoping we find a way to weave Vol'jin, Talanji, Zul'jin, Rokan, Zul'jan, and Zul'jara into a cohesive story about troll unity or cooperation.
Well, right out of the gate in Midnight, you're not going to see that combination of trolls, but you will see a combination of some trolls as we continue into patches and move forward. We're very much focused on what's going on with the trolls as well as what's going on with the Blood Elves. They have not always been on the best of terms for reasons. And there's definitely a story to be told about their relationship, and all of those folks come into that story.
Groxy on Blue Sky said, Midnight sees the Paladin forces of Azeroth fighting back the Void at the Sunwell. Can we hope to see more lore about the Tauren and Azeroth's sun god Ansha? Eyes of the Earth Mother told us how he and Elune slash Musha fought possibly the Void in ancient Azeroth.
Well, we are going to hang out with Desco a little bit in the Erator's Journey portion of our campaign at Midnight. And I feel like we certainly are going to look at how the Tauren view their mythologies, perhaps later in The Last Titan.
Okay, good. Let's talk about add-ons. The WoW creator Polka TV said, given the upcoming removal of many boss mod tools, how do you plan to preserve the intended difficulty of encounters once these tools are no longer available?
Oh, we've had this question 55,000
For some extra
times.
context, I think folks are going to see in the next day or two, as some of the media interviews we've done in the last day go out, that we are rolling out changes to the add-on API with the launch of Midnight. And so that is going to remove the ability for add-ons to read in real time combat state and combat information specifically. And one of the big reasons why we're doing this with the launch of a new expansion is so that we can really build all of our combat, our encounters around that expectation, around this new ecosystem. As we've been discussing over the course of the year, really the main goal with this shift is to create a level playing field where external tools are no longer felt to be required in order to engage in the content, at a competitive level. And also to shift some of the things that we are testing when it comes to difficulty, maybe away from Twitch reactions and how quickly you can run to the circle or diamond marker that your add-on told you to run to, and rather to more of the collaborative coordination that have traditionally marked cooperative PvE in WoW. But the goal is to keep difficulty largely the same. In terms of how many pulls it takes to down a boss for your guild, whether you are aiming for ahead of the curve and defeating heroic, or whether you're pushing into mythic or whatever else,
it would all be why isn't the
overall,
mage
it should take you
tower
about
in
the same
remix?
amount of time to accomplish what you're used to accomplishing. It's just that difficulty may come in slightly different places. Without add-ons to solve mechanics for you in real time, it may well be the case that we just need to give you a couple more seconds to get into place, or that there should be one fewer add to interrupt, or what have you. We are going to be rolling out, we're actually going to be launching alpha with a raid boss available for testing early on. We have a ton of native improvements to the UI, like boss timers, boss alerts, so you can see a timeline of upcoming boss abilities, nameplate improvements, cooldown manager improvements, and more, to, again, kind of create a unified experience that's baked into the UI. But the goal at the end of the day is for difficulty to remain where it was, and we will be making tuning changes in alpha and beta, as well as, of course, once these encounters are live, to make sure that things are landing in the right place and players still feel well equipped to overcome the challenges in front of them.
Following that, Sped Bros on Reddit asked, what is your plan for upkeep and development of these now built-in add-ons?
Yeah, so I think the functionality that we're pulling into the base UI is something that, as always, we're going to be evolving in response to player feedback. Again, part of why we're very excited to get people having a look at these right at the start of alpha is so that we have the entirety of the alpha and beta cycle to iterate on them before midnight launches. And then, of course, as always, even after the game is live, we're going to continue to add functionality based on the player requests and the feedback that we're receiving.
Ossicrond on the WoW forums said, sculpting your UI over the years is almost like working on a classic car. Fine-tuning with different fonts, color palettes, and even different types of glow alerts.
I'm going to be honest, I can't
what is the
wait
depth
for
of the available customization,
people's
and are
UIs
there
to
plans
almost be
to
the
expand
same?
it in the future?
So there's a couple of facets to this question. First off, couldn't agree more that I think UI customization and using add-ons to tailor the aesthetic of a UI, how information is presented and where it's presented, I think are one of the hallmarks of the WoW experience and really one of the strengths of the game for going on 21 years now. There are no plans to eliminate or remove that. The approach we've taken in changing the way the add-on API works really is just focused on access to that real-time information. There'll be details coming out very soon from our UI engineering team on exactly how this works. But whereas in the past, when we have restricted aspects of what add-ons can do, we tend to just kind of wall off sections of our UI and say add-ons can't touch this at all. But when it comes to things like nameplates or unit frames and the like, that would have been an unacceptable approach here because that aesthetic customization is so essential. So there's a brand new system that's been created where essentially pieces of information about what's going on in combat are put in a black box. And add-ons can paint that box pink or yellow or green or make it bigger or smaller, but what they can't do is know exactly what's inside the box and use that to drive logic. In addition to that, the new UI functionality that we're adding, whether it's improved nameplates or whatever, have extensive customizations in terms of size, shape, location, aesthetic, all of the edit mode functionality, and more. But we have no intent of pulling back in any way from the aesthetic customization that add-ons have always offered.
Lots of people claiming alpha
Cutting
deep
to the
dives.
chase, Felfer on the WoW forums asked, does this mean that existing add-ons like Deadly Boss Mods, Plater, or Details are going to break?
They will change significantly. I think certainly, day one, if you're logging into alpha and you try to enable them, I do not believe they will work due to changes in the API, but that's standard for any new expansion release. We are inviting the authors of a vast range of add-ons into our first week of alpha, so that's going to be coming up in just the next few days, to get their hands on these changes, to give us feedback about how we can better support their ongoing development. But yes, when it comes to the specific ability to read and process combat information and use that to drive logic, that is going to be changing, and that will affect those add-ons.
Okay, give me one more. This comes from Herrix on the WoW forums. Herrix said, what are the plans regarding improvements to the default raid frames? In the effort to reduce the need for add-ons, raid frames are a major pain point for healers, where the default Blizzard raid frames are basically unusable without at least some external modification.
So yeah, we also have improvements coming to raid frames, definitely with healers in mind. If you're, let's say, a Resto Druid who wants to be able to see all of your HOTS on a target, that's something that we agree is very important and needs to be baked into the default functionality.
Let's see if there's any,
same with encounter designers calling out major buffs and debuffs and things that you need to know in an encounter, whether you're a healer or just a raid leader wanting to keep tabs on the state of the encounter that way. And of course, as mentioned earlier, add-ons will still be able to customize the look and the feel and the size and the overall presentation of raid frames. There just won't be certain functionality that is driving logic based on whether you happen to have a certain debuff or not. But all the rest should still be available.
E. Chow on Blue Sky has a couple of questions. Given the connection to the Army of Light, the Sunwell and Blood Elves in general being their main rival in the Burning Crusade, will we see Draenei play any sort of role? Also, will Quel'Thalas be, with Quel'Thalas being part of the main world now, will there be any updates to Forsaken Lands?
So the Draenei, obviously will be part of the fight, part of the battle that we're waging against the Void. But this chapter is focused on the Blood Elves and the Blood Elves struggle with some trolls, and we're gonna really be leaning in there more than we are with the Draenei. Opportunities, will come up for the Draenei to have their moment in the light, as it were.
Yeah. And as it goes for like changes to Forsaken Lands, well, there's some minor changes as we've added Quel'Thalas and Zul'Aman into the main body of the Eastern Kingdoms to connect them in. So there's a tunnel in the Forsaken Lands that does connect it in. We are going to see some Forsaken characters as well. We're actually going to be working with a little bit of a deep cut, but Alansis Fowl, the Archpriest, is going to be a character who appears and has a couple interesting interactions and chats with Eretor and Liadrin and others. So we're going to continue to build out Forsaken story as we continue.
Yeah, I think looking at how this is playing out and will continue to, I think we're very excited by some of the reception we've heard from Gamescom onwards about the changes to Silvermoon, Eversong, and more. Honestly, there was a bit of anxiety internally about the idea of revisiting an old location as for one of our zones, whether some players would view that as like somehow lesser than coming up with a brand new place. But I think as people see this full splendor of Silvermoon, get a chance to revisit Eversong and what it's become all these years later, I think the excitement around that really excites us too, because we'd love to be able to tell more new stories in some of the iconic locations that resonate throughout everyone's fandom of Warcraft and what Azeroth is about. And so that will mean updating those locations, and I think that's something that we're excited to do more of as we look forward. Of course, The Last Titan will see us going back to Northrend, so that'll be a story for another day.
I think we for sure discovered that we can tell different stories when we go to old places and see how characters have changed, see how the spaces have changed. It's been a really cool opportunity to do that in Midnight.
Might not see many new zones for a long time, though.
Baxia on Reddit asked, are you planning on adding any new specs that can tank or heal for existing classes?
Not right now in Midnight. I think Devourer, Demon Hunter, and that new range DPS spec for them is our focus right now. But I think we've seen, whether it's this or whether it's augmentation, there is excitement around the idea of established classes getting new specs, and so that is something I think we're likely to explore as we look to the future.
Zerotics on Reddit asked, throughout the War Within, some classes and specs received visual updates, and as a monk player, the update to Vivify was very appreciated. Are there any other classes or specs that can be revealed to be getting updated visuals in Midnight?
Yeah, there's a couple really cool Apex talents. So Apex talents are the new talents you'll be able to learn at the bottom of your spec tree, and a lot of these have some fantastic visuals. Ones that jump out to me are the augmentation, where you summon a bronze dragon version of yourself from the future to fight alongside you for a little bit. The Frost Mage one as well, you summon a Hand of Frost that chases down your target and attack them. And so these are some of the new abilities that are going to get some new custom visuals. As far as looking back at older visuals, as was the case with Vivify, this is something that we tend to do as we continue to build smaller patches. Most of our efforts for Midnight was building all the new stuff, but then as we continue building out the game, we look to the future. This is where we look back at, as we did with Vivify, find abilities where we can raise the floor and say, okay, this one has aged not as gracefully as the rest of our visuals, and we can bring it up to par with the rest.
Following that, we found a question from Nihenna on the German forums, and Nihenna asked, will the Void/Light topic be picked up in any additional class specs in the future? For example, Sunwell effects for a Holy Paladin, or perhaps Void powers for a Warlock?
I don't know about Void Warlocks quite yet, but we do have a existing Void themed spec, the Shadow Priest, my beloved Shadow Priest, which has a new ability, Tentacle Slam, which replaces Shadow Crash, and it is a giant voidy tentacle that slams down in a line in front of you, and has a similar AoE component, but a lot more of a classic voidy Shadow Priest idea to it. We also have on one of our Apex talents, the Discipline Priest has Void Shield, which replaces your Power Word Shield with a Void-themed shield. So there are places where the Void and Light are leaking into our class design.
Going back to the support roles, Neo Sorrow on the EU Spanish forums asked, can we expect anything new regarding the support role in Midnight? Will it be expanded to other classes? Is it considered that it maybe didn't work as expected for augmentation, and perhaps that just becomes a normal damage or healer?
So we're not planning on currently expanding it to other classes,
need to
but we're
sack off
also
this
not
idea of
planning on
support
changing
roles.
augmentation to just fit into the existing
It never
niches.
work.
I think there's a lot of excitement
like to
around
be
the
really
idea
good at
of
one
support.
thing.
I think we've seen players embrace that
average at
fantasy.
everything.
I think we are still iterating on evolving that specialization and getting to a place where we can find a happy medium, where it can kind of realize that fantasy and be effective as someone who bolsters the strength of your allies without also becoming so effective that it feels required in groups and kind of limits composition diversity. I think if we're able to achieve that, hopefully when we're able to achieve that, I do think we would like to look to what other ideas might apply a different fantasy to executing that concept.
I want to switch to the topic of delves. The WoW content creator True Villain Manny said, with delves integrated into the story, will there be certain scenarios that are locked in as we level? And will there be additional story in those alternative scenarios with delves?
Yeah, as we move through the campaign in Midnight, we will be entering delves with specific goals in mind. And that particular variant of the story will have the objectives that we need to accomplish as we go through them. As always, our delves will have multiple variants to play through with different stories occurring. So yes, we will continue to use delves in this way, and you know, look for opportunities to continue to build quest content that enters delves.
So let's go inside. Varteris on the WoW forums said, will delves have even greater variety than in the War Within? Maybe a randomized puzzle to solve, a race, a whole new set of abilities?
Yeah, there's a couple ways that delves are changing. We have a new follower, Valera Sanguinara, is going to come along, and she's going to mix things up. She's takes
Looking
delves a
forward
little
to a
bit more
new delve
seriously
follower,
than
to be
Bran
honest.
does, and a lot more stabbily as well. We also have
Definitely bored
some
of
outdoor
Bran.
delves that are going to take place in outdoor spaces, and so this will just change up not only the vibe of the space, but your ability to move around, because you'll be able to use your ground mounts to get around. We're also just taking a look at the mechanics that we're using in delves in Midnight. So you can announce now that Midnight does not have any underwater delves. It also does not have any delves with a mechanic where you have to, say, pick up a candle or a totem and throw it ahead and continue doing that on a continued basis.
Get rid of that
folks,
shit.
Let us know how they felt about those, and we're not moving forward with those designs.
Sack them off.
So Relentless on the EU Spanish forums asked a version of a question we got a lot. And Ian, what's stopping the World of Warcraft development team from doing a world revamp? Could we get a world revamp?
I mean, I think, you know, the idea of revamping everything at once is a terrifying one, frankly. But I think, as touched on earlier, you know, we definitely want to tell new stories in iconic locations. And in
she'll
doing
definitely
that,
still
we
pull
would
off the delve, though,
certainly
for sure.
do much more than just do a fresh coat of paint on the area. We would really reimagine it and bring it into the present day, as we have with Eversong. Our current focus is, of course, on the story that we're telling for the rest of the World Soul Saga. That will touch on some familiar locations. But down the line, I think the lessons we are learning and the experiences we're having, revisiting some locations, open the door to doing a lot more of it.
Saw a very upvoted question from Solera, a French WoW player on X. Solera asked, without giving away spoilers, very
No
important.
spoilers.
Okay.
Does Midnight introduce any completely new elven tribes or expand on lesser known ones? Maybe the Kelderai?
Without spoilers.
Without spoilers.
That's a tough constraint.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's right.
I don't think it's spoilery to say we're going to be learning a lot about the elves and the elves' relationships with one another, and that would include Quel'Darai.
Thank you. And Zoris on the EU Spanish forums asked, with the Devourer specialization,
TBC
all
remix?
Demon Hunter
I'd love a
abilities will
TBC
use
remix.
void effects and icons, even those shared by all
It
three
was second on my
specializations?
list to Legion.
Has there been any consideration of extending this aesthetic customization to other classes?
So I think philosophically and narratively, what a Void Demon Hunter represents, what a Devourer Demon Hunter represents, is one who, rather than harnessing and channeling Fel energy, is channeling Void energy to turn it against those who originally wielded it. And so that is going to transform a wide range of their abilities. On the other hand, when we look at, let's say, a Fire Mage or a Frost Mage, they're not forsaking the arcane when they become a Fire Mage. And so Blink is still an arcane spell, and Counterspell is still an arcane spell, and so forth. And so I think when we look at other classes, we generally like to look at that broad base of multiple, areas of focus. And just because you specialize in one thing doesn't mean that that transforms all of the others. That said, touching on some earlier questions, when it comes to glyph spell customizations and other things that players may want to customize the look and feel of their abilities, there's always an opportunity there.
Another highly upvoted question all over the place. I'll take the version of this question from Navarel on the EU German forums. Would you consider replacing the ready-made group in follower dungeons with characters from the player's warband?
Yes, that would be really cool.
We are considering. Not something we're going to be able to deliver for Midnight, but ever since the introduction of both warbands and follower dungeons, this idea, this request has popped up. It's something that we're excited about internally as well. There's some technical hurdles to kind of pull that information down in real time and make it work, but it's something we do want to deliver down the line.
Ian's not lying about technical hurdles. There were multiple technical hurdles in the way. We're actually jumping over one of them with Training Grounds, where we're changing the way that some of those game-controlled characters or bots are built to be building Training Grounds in this way gets us one hurdle closer to being able to do what you're asking for.
There are so many people on this development team that I would call technical hurdlers. Engineers, that's just what they do. They jump over hurdles. So, Maria, Silo on the WoW forums asked, will there be new mini-game type quests in Midnight?
Yes, there will be. We actually have a new mechanic that was created for Zulaman specifically, where you will do some, underwater stuff, but it's quite fun. It's the Amani Abyss style. You're gonna be going fishing troll style.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a revelation. I like that.
Fishing
while
troll
we're revealing
style,
things.
okay.
Muscleton on the WoW forums asked, I'm extremely excited for the Heronir. Can you share more information on their druid forms?
Said nobody ever.
Well, conveniently, if you watched the deep dive, you saw a flash of those. Fundamentally, they all have quills to throw back to sort of the Heronir. But the tank form is a pangolin bear with sort of bat-like ears.
They all sort of got those ears.
Yeah, they got the ears and the quills. And we have a wolverine for our feral spec. We have an
Don't put stuff in that you have to apologize for. Be a good rule, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Sorry,
it's underwater.
Has got to be
we're not going to like it. Don't ship it.
The swimming travel form, which is an axolotl.
Axolotl.
With quills.
We're all going to learn how to say axolotl.
Yeah, I probably said it wrong, but yeah.
No, I think you got it right. I think you did.
Okay, cool.
The reveal of the Heronir led to a very common question. And a version of that question that I want to ask you came from Racktoner on Reddit. Can you explain the decision-making process for which races to make playable races?
A lot of this comes down to narrative. There's no secret that we started talking to the Heronir in the War Within, and this was not a coincidence either. We wanted to build a familiarity with Rowena, with her crew, so you'd understand who these characters are when they do eventually become playable characters, as we've added them in Midnight. And of course, Midnight is part of a 3-chapter saga. We're in the middle chapter now. The Heronir are going to be a big, important part of this story, and this is why we chose to fold them in.
I feel bad often being the bearer of bad news in these conversations, but I know that it's not lost on us that there are widespread requests from players who would love to be a Sethrak or an Ethereal or the like. And part of the question there is, as Paul said, narratively, like, does it make sense for this faction to really join the Alliance and Horde if there's
Right, well,
if
we
they're
need
cosmic,
World of
extraplanar,
Murloc,
or more
then.
neutral by nature? But the reality of it is also, from a production perspective, one of the things we grapple
last
with
Murloc.
is that adding a brand new race to World of Warcraft is one of the most development-intensive things we can do, not just in one-time time commitment, but also in the long-term carrying cost for every set of armor we ever make for years and years to follow. And it's something that we have to weigh very, very heavily when we do. Building a race that
Murlocs, they're
uses
the same
or
size as
shares an
gnomes.
existing
Done.
rig, an existing skeleton, if it's an elven race or the like, makes that more straightforward. Again, that's not to say we're never going to add very novel or meaningfully different races down the line, but it's a very high bar for us to clear when we look at how much ultimately it's going to mean that we have to do less of in other places forever in order to support this additional race alongside the others.
As I've said to you before, I want Saberon. I will wait. I will be patient. Please give me Saberon. So, Massive Bear on the WoW forums asked, will Haranir be unlockable in the 3 days of early access? I remember Earthen were not.
No, not during the first 3 days. Yeah. So during that early access, we want to make sure that we're letting players who are in that early access be able to play through the campaign and understand what's going on, but not getting any meaningful jumps ahead of anyone else who does not have that early access.
Meredith on the WoW forums asked, how is Blizzard progressing in the war against toxicity?
Anyone watching Nagura, she's streaming on the bike, is she?
Yeah, this is something that's a huge focus for us, and really, there's many facets
She's
to
always
the
on the
question of
move.
the discussion. I think when people say toxicity, there's a few different meanings, perhaps, or things that they're referring to. Some of it is just the overt, hostile, harmful, antagonistic interactions that may occur online between players. We're always continuing to shore up our reporting tools, improve real-time monitoring, and get to a place where people who are disrupting our game world can be punished and ultimately removed from it if they continue to do that. On the other hand, though, I think sometimes when people talk about a community or a portion of the game feeling toxic, that can arise from just mismatched expectations. Like, if I am listing a group and I'm trying to run a raid, and I have done that raid 12 times, and I have been through groups that have wiped and learned the encounters, it's reasonable for me as a leader of a pug to only want players who have a certain level of experience, who have also been through those learning wipes and can succeed quickly. And so someone who is looking to learn may feel like, oh, this is very unwelcoming, this is kind of toxic, why aren't we, why am I not welcome here? And ultimately, that's an issue of aligning expectations.
I thought he was going to say that's a skill issue.
Side of things, to help people find like-minded players and like-minded groups. There's nothing wrong with wanting to complete something quickly and efficiently. There's also very certainly nothing wrong with wanting to learn and wanting a patient group. Now, if you mix those two groups, there are going to be some conflicts that emerge naturally because of different goals and expectations. So I think a lot of what we're focused on right now is also how we can help players better connect with like-minded individuals so that they can have satisfying experiences where everyone is on the same page, working towards the same goals.
Thank you.
TLDR, get good.
I want to rip through some more housing questions. We've got several. Will we get to see our alts walking about, or maybe sitting in a chair in our house? Paul.
Yeah, this is, we're looking at a lot of the same technical hurdles we talked about earlier, not only with being able to show players and other players in game, but also the pathing issues that Ian mentioned when it comes to being able to have your pets moving around and mounts moving around and whatnot. So not planned yet, but something we do talk about as a potential for the future. And I'll take this moment to say that like housing is one of those features which is really exciting for us because there are so many cool ways for it to grow. As we've built Midnight and we're sharing housing for the first time,
it's not sounding overly social if you can't have other people or pets in your house.
We want more ways that I can style interior or exterior of my house. So let us know as you continue playing.
Yeah, philosophically, with a feature the size of housing, this is something we've been working on for a very long time to really deliver what players have been expecting and what they deserve. But there comes a point when we're developing, especially a social feature, where we're almost hesitant to take it too far until we can actually share it with the community and understand what people are
What do you
into,
think
what they're maybe
this
not
is,
into
an
so much, what they
MMO?
want more of, what they
Yeah.
don't need more of, to make sure that we're really putting our time and our resources in the places that are going to maximize that value for players. And so we're so excited to see people jump in the months ahead in alpha and beta, of course, and then beginning this December on the live servers and see where it goes from there.
So here's a very specific question from Alastral on the WoW forums. For housing and professions, it was stated that professions through all expansions will be able to craft housing items. Will we be able to use this as a skill catch-up for the past expansions? For example, could a leather worker start at Wrath Leatherworking Skill 1 and craft Wrath-themed housing items to get all the way to level 75?
I mean, these will give skill ups for sure. Yeah, I don't know how many of them will be available at level 1, for example. They may be tuned based on how.
I was going to say, you told us to go out, level our professions.
Is, but in general, yeah, once you get the level that you're able to build these things, then you continue to use them to level up.
So many very specific requests. I want to just give you this one. It comes from Spara on the WoW forums. Is it possible to add a functional bookshelf to player housing that could store and display collected in-game books? I have a lot of those.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. That once you share housing with the world, then 1,000 cool ideas come out, and so we start gathering up all these cool ideas.
Pandora's box of housing ideas.
I can confirm there will be bookshelves. Whether those bookshelves will be functional, no, not at least to start. But this is a really cool idea for a collection that we're gonna, take back to the team.
And a couple more. Ian. Devanir on Reddit wrote, what is the minimum player limit for a private or guild neighborhood? What happens if you make a private neighborhood with the minimum amount of people and then some of them go away?
So this is something that's still a bit in flux. I think our current thinking is that just like signing a guild charter, you'll need 10 players to charter a private neighborhood. And that's for a couple of reasons. Part of it is, in order for neighborhood systems endeavors to really function optimally, there's a certain number of players that are going to be expected to really drive the system. But also a piece of it is just server performance. Using an extreme example, if literally every single player online had their own personal neighborhoods, that would be potentially millions of simultaneous entire districts that need to get spun up, trying to make sure the servers don't melt here. And so striking a balance between what's going to be a good social experience, but also recognizing that players have friend groups of various sizes, and we want to be as flexible as possible. I think if we're able to lower that number from where we're starting, it's something we would aim to do as we see how the tech side of it unfolds.
I saw an upvoted question on Reddit from a player
10
named
players to start a
Backstabeth.
neighborhood. Interesting.
And this is a question I have myself.
Fairly a trustworthy fellow.
Very much. Will there be a list of collections and their sources for housing materials before housing goes live so that we can begin to start hunting for those items, maybe reputation, achievement requirements? I'd love to know what I already have or what I'm close to having.
People will explore this in the alpha.
Visible in the alpha build coming up in just a day, but we'll have a blog summarizing it, so you don't need to go trawling for the information, and that way everyone can get a head start on checking off those achievements that you may have missed.
Let's come back to a couple of fun questions.
The auction house is being cleaned out as we speak.
On the WoW forums asked, are we getting a capybara, Loa? There are capybaras in the Yamani screenshots. The people yearn for a capybara, Loa.
Well, conveniently, there is one. His name is Philo, the capybara Loa of children.
Oh, nice. And I hope he has a prominent headdress.
Absolutely, and a glorious necklace.
That's perfect. Loa's should be very well outfitted.
What's
Finnerfin on the WoW forums asked, could we see the return of class quest lines? Legion was great, and it was fun to have a unique experience questing on alts.
Yeah, class quest lines come up really often as something people are excited about. We certainly do want to look more at, expanding on classes. We had a lot of fun doing the Warlock one, for example, not too long ago. But most recently, the best way for you to play some class quest lines, if you never played them, has to do with our lore walking, because where we had restrictions, for example, on the Xalatath story. Previously, a lot of people didn't know anything about Xalatath and the knife, and by playing that lore walking, they had the opportunity to play that portion of the priest quest line. So we're hoping that as we build more lore walking, you'll have that opportunity to see some of that, but this is certainly an area that the quest and narrative team would be thrilled to do more of.
Good. It's our last question. And I cobbled this together from versions of this question that I found everywhere. I want to give a shout out to some of the people that I borrowed this from. Aziriel, Simplejack, Martian, Zuburius on our forums, all asked versions of this. Ian, how will player power progression be updated in Midnight, especially regarding Valor Stones?
So yes, so the way the upgrade system has played out over the last couple of expansions, I think we're happy with the sort of granular incremental progression that complements that spiky randomness of loot drops. But there is, and we agree with player feedback that we've heard, potentially one too many moving pieces and a bit too much complexity in the current system. So I can announce that Valor Stones as a currency will be going away in Midnight. You're already needing to gather the crests that you need, and that should be sufficient. We're also looking to streamline the system a little bit and more clearly pair individual crest tiers with appropriate gear upgrade tracks so that there's potentially less confusion about what crest matches to what.
Anything further, Paul?
No, I think that's great. Yeah.
We're over here pumping fists.
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
Very excited.
Midnight Stones instead. Yeah. Void Stones.
On that note.
That's our time. Thank you, Ian, Paul, Maria. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you to everyone watching along. We've got Midnight Alpha testing starting very soon. We can't wait to see you there and welcome you home.
Thank you.
I'm none the wiser. If anything, I have more questions. It'd be nice if you didn't need an Excel spreadsheet to see what upgrades you need. Yeah, I've said for ages the flipping gearing thing is far too complicated. People think flipping work orders are complicated. Gearing is on another level. Totally unnecessary. Cool. All right. Well, there are rumors afoot that there are some content creators out there who are getting early access to the alpha. I can confirm I am not one of those. At least if flags are going out early, they have not made their way to me. But I would imagine then there is a few prominent content creators spinning up their streams probably right about now if they're not already live. Professions are not a pillar? Yeah, clearly. Clearly. Got home in a panic, missed loads, then realised we'll be talking about this for weeks. Yeah, this don't you worry. Don't you worry. What's this? That's an interesting game version. An interesting game version that Soul has access to there. That sounds like certain people have been given a specific version, a dedicated account to do it on. Right. Okay. Well, that was eventful. There was plenty of questions in that. Way too much time spent on add-ons. Way too much time spent on the lore, but unfortunately that's usually the case, isn't it? Right, now to check Wowhead. Since Wowhead is probably quite likely going to be absolutely flooded because they get time to pre-create articles ahead of time. 24 hours until the Midnight Alpha launches, apparently, according to Wowhead. So 8 PM tomorrow for me, the alpha will go live. People are doing live reacts. What do we got? Combat add-ons disabled in-game content. Fully collecting a class set appearance unlocks all lower difficulty variants in Midnight. Oh, that's a big change. That's a big change. That means transmog farmers only really need to farm the mythic version to get all the sets. Boom. That's big, actually. That's massive. That's massive. Yeah, so Alpha's going to kick off tomorrow. Alpha's going to kick off tomorrow. Like I said, I've got no confirmation that I even have access to it. But it does appear that some people might have been given specific accounts, maybe, to get access to it early. If some people are poking around in it now, have a look. See what we can find. See what we can find. Some people might have been given specific battle nets to log into to get access a touch earlier. Yeah, drops should be up and running, by the way. Drops should be up and running. The drops up and running. The drops up and running. Oh, I don't need an echo. Yeah, drops are on the go. Drops are on the go. Was wood chopping a new gathering profession? I don't think it's going to be a dedicated profession. I think anybody's going to be able to do it. My theory with this is that it's going to be a warbound material that will probably be utilized across many different professions and many different crafts. I suspect you're probably going to have to go and collect the lumber you need yourself to craft the items, and then it's up to you whether you use them in your player house or whether you sell them on. That could be the restriction aspect of it to hopefully maintain some value in what we see on the auction house for a while, but we'll see. Calling it now, lumber marked trees aren't shared spawn and will be single use. Oh Christ, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Jesus. That'd be chaos. Pre-order the Midnight Physical Collector's Edition and get the Dark Heart. Oh, this is officially a thing now. This is officially a thing. This image was floating around the internet the other day. Pre-order the Midnight Physical Collector's Edition with a nice little cheeky Wowhead affiliate link there. Will be available from additional retailers for EU and UK players. $140. 140 USD. Hardcover book, Midnight Collector's pin, and all the digital Epic Edition content. Okay. Does it actually give you a game key? Because the Epic Edition is like $100 by itself. If you get the extra goodies for only $40, it's a bit of a steal, isn't it? Epic Edition game key. Not a bad price then, is it really? Not a bad price, $140. Considering what it's been previously, I should point out. It come with a hug and a recording of Ian saying he's proud of me. However, you must actually pay with actual money. Well, yes, that's true. That is true. Soul and Tally haven't actually got in yet. They're still trying. Their accounts have been flagged, but there's no servers to log into. I imagine that's probably how it will play out. What did they do? Did they do a battle.net reload or something? I don't know. I'm in no rush simply because I don't have a huge amounts of time this evening anyway. I wanted to watch the Watch the announcements. Can I stream alpha? I mean, is it allowed? Yeah. This is the public alpha. There's been an internal alpha on the go for ages, which even if you had access to, you weren't allowed to even say you had access to, I doubt. That's what's referred to as like the friends and family alpha. This is going to be sort of public alpha, which, yeah, you can stream it, record it, make videos of it, you know, all of the above. The pre-purchase is up and running of that then, out of curiosity. Out of curiosity. How much is it in EU land? How much is it in EU land? Blizzard Store. Blizzard Store EU. I'm doing this off screen in case I'm logged in and it shows shit I don't want it to show. Shot by game, World of Warcraft. Is it only going to be shipped from third-party retailers or something? I don't even know. Don't know. Not available in the EU or the UK yet, I just checked. Oh, okay. Towley does have alpha already. Has Towley got it? Of course Towley's got it. Of course Towley's got it. Was he playing a video? Midnight alpha now. 90-hour plus all-a-thon. How do people come up with these words? Is this a video of him playing it? This is a video of him playing on the internal alpha. Yeah, you see, so, you know, Friends and Family alpha has been available for ages. So there's been people that have had access to it for a while. It's not necessarily, you know, it's not the alpha that we'll all have access. Well, I say all have access. Some people will have access to. I've got to be careful here. Wait, did he have 9,000 gifted subs? Was that? Oh, all-time top gifters. Oh my lord. Flipping hell. Alright, yeah, so this is just a video. Towley's just playing a video. Right, well, boys and girls, the likelihood is that tomorrow we will get some information starting to filter through. I've been live already a whole bunch today. I'm going to call it there for this evening. It's been a shorter stream this evening, but I'm feeling kind of fortunate that I was able to stream this evening either way. There is probably a whole bunch of creators out there that I could send you to at this point. My suggestions is probably to go and find somebody that has early access to the alpha. Bear's online. I would recommend going and saying hi to Bear potentially. Although it looks like she's about to take a break. Who's just come back off a break. I'll tell you what, I'll let you guys go wherever you need to go. I need to go take my dogs for a walk anyway. Thank you very much for joining this evening. We'll be back tomorrow where we'll probably start being able to have a little bit of a look over things in general. And Alpha will be in the hands of a select few tomorrow evening. And hopefully we'll start getting a lot more answers. But once again, thank you very much for joining this evening. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.